xDuoo have released a digital turntable for your smartphone. But what does that mean exactly? If you're into vinyl, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're into well-designed, useful audio devices that are very affordable and open a world of opportunities, you're going to be interested in this. xDuoo's DT-01 digital turntable is, in no way that I can see, actually a turntable. It's a phone holder and a charger that's also a digital-to-digital converter and a DAC and a headphone amp. Despite the very misleading name of the DT-01 as a digital turntable, it's a brilliant device. Imagine that you've just walked into your office, maybe after a commute, or maybe you've just finished your coffee at the kitchen table and you've walked into the other room where your office is. But either way, imagine you've just walked into your office and you've got limited desk space available. Alternatively, maybe you've finished all your work for the day and it's time for a well-earned rest. You go to bed and you've got a small bedside table beside you. In either case, the DT-01 could be a godsend. But just in case you find the idea of a compact, all-in-one mobile phone stand, DAC and headphone amp a bit boring, don't switch off just yet, because this device has got a lot more going for it. For just $159 and a teeny tiny little footprint, the DT-01 brings a high-quality ES9038Q2M DAC chip and 350 milliwatts of power to your desk or your bedside table while also holding and charging your phone. It's also really quick and easy to pack up if you're transporting it and you want to put it in a bag, and so it can be your portable travel solution anywhere and everywhere. But if that all sounds a little bit too good to be true, there is a little wrinkle that we do need to discuss. At $159, the DT-01 is not replacing high-end DACs and headphone amps, or even high-end all-in-ones. For example, a product like a FiiO K7 is going to be a better standalone device. It's also not going to replace high-quality portable devices like, say, an EMN Angel, and it's definitely not replacing a dedicated high-end separate system of DAC and headphone amp. The DT-01 is not a product for audio purists, at least not on its own. I should be clear though, the DT-01 sounds great for what it is. For $159, it delivers the sort of sound that you would expect for that price, along with a bunch of other convenient features. But it's in those other features where things get really interesting, and where I think the range of features on the DT-01 are ridiculous at the price you pay. So first, let's get its absolute basics out of the way. If you just want a simple, desktop, all-in-one headphone solution from your smartphone, the DT-01 offers excellent sound quality for its price. It's significantly better than a cheaper dongle, like say our Moondrop Dawn Pro. Specifically, the DT-01 is going to give you a larger soundstage, greater separation, and a slightly more resolving sound overall. The other benefit is that it's going to charge your phone as you're listening, whereas a regular, normal dongle type device is going to be draining your battery while you're listening. And so dongles aren't such a great choice if you're listening in the office, or maybe you're plugging them in at night to listen before you go to sleep, because they're going to be constantly draining your battery. And then when you wake up the next morning, or when you finish work and it's time for the commute home, you're not going to have the power in your phone that you're probably going to want. And so for that combination of playback and charging, the DT-01's fantastic. Do be aware that you might need to back off the volume on your mobile phone a little bit if you're using IEMS with the DT-01, and that's because it does have a fair bit of gain from the headphone output. If you're using a quality app on your phone, like say USB Audio Player Pro on Android, that's going to let you reduce the volume in the phone without any impact on sound quality. So it's really not a problem, but it's something to be aware of. While I'm mentioning Android, I should also mention that the DT-01 does come with cables for both USB-C and Lightning connections, so you can use it with Android or with Apple. Another thing which helps with that is that the design of the DT-01 has been deliberately kept very basic. You do need to run a cable from the back around to the front to plug into the phone, as opposed to having some sort of integrated connector. But I think that's a good thing because it means this is going to work with any device. No matter what the size, the shape, the form factor, As long as you can sit it on this stand and plug a cable into the bottom, you're going to be able to use the DT-01. It would even work with digital audio players so long as they've got a USB-C or Lightning connection on the bottom that you can plug into. And that's assuming, of course, that they will output the digital audio via USB. But at this point, you'd be forgiven for asking some questions such as, why not just put my phone on a wireless charger and then use a dongle? Or maybe you're thinking, I want better sound quality than what's going to be built into the DT-01, so why wouldn't I just buy a separate, dedicated DAC? The DT-01 seems irrelevant there. And as I said before, as a pure, all-in-one audio device, the DT-01's neat, but it's the extra features that make it absolutely brilliant. For example, you can use the DT-01 to take an output from your phone and then feed it via a USB-A socket on the back of the DT-01 to any high-end DAC or all-in-one device that you choose. And all the while that you're feeding tunes out to your high-quality DAC, you're still charging your phone. Normally, once that USB cable is connected to your phone to then send the signal to your DAC, your phone's constantly dropping in power. Not with the DT-01. Now, of course, if you're worried about killing the battery life in your phone by constantly charging it, you don't need to be concerned about that because there's a switch on the front of the DT-01 to turn on and off the charging function. So you could choose to listen for most of the day and then towards the end of the day, flick that switch, top your phone back up, ready for the trip home. Now, maybe you're saying right now that your DAC doesn't have a USB input, or maybe that USB input is already being used for computer audio and you like to be able to switch between the two. Maybe you want to take video calls or use the USB connection for computer audio, but then at other times you just want nice streaming audio. The DT-01's got you covered there as well, because you can take the output from your phone, the USB-C or Lightning socket, and have it converted into optical or coaxial SPDIF. Those outputs are limited as usual to 192 kHz and or DSD64, but they're still completely available and a great way to get a digital audio feed out from your phone via optical or coaxial. The DT-01 also has a variable auxiliary output via a 3.5mm socket on the back, and that means you can take the audio from your phone via the DAC in the DT-01 and send it off to some powered speakers you might have. And so realistically, there's not a setup that I can think of that the DT-01 doesn't cater for. Simple earphone or headphone setup? Yes. A compact DAC to feed a better amplifier? Yes. A digital-to-digital converter to take a USB output from your phone and send it via a SPDIF output to a different DAC or all-in-one? Yes. Or just a simple USB output to send the signal from your phone off to a USB-based DAC connection whilst also charging your phone? Yes. In short, the DT-01 is as much or as little as you want it to be. It can turn your phone into a very simple high-quality audio source for your headphones or earphones, or into the perfect transport to feed whatever DAC or other downstream devices you want to use. It's a very, very cool device, even if it's in no way at all a turntable. If you want one of these, I've put links in the description down below where you can pick them up for yourself. But of course, if you don't need the charging functionality and you're just looking for a fantastic all-in-one desktop solution, I've linked my review up here of the FiiO K5. It's going to perform about the same, maybe a touch better than the DT-01, but it's not going to charge your phone for you. For now, as always, I want to say a huge thanks to channel members, to channel Patreon members, and to those of you that leave super thanks on videos like this one. And now until next time, happy listening, be kind to each other, and I'll see you all again soon here on Passion for Sound.